So we can kind of go into a podcast mode while we're getting ready for the game. I'm looking back at the stats from the Six Invitational, Pengu, and obviously you've got your classics. You know, Handy was the MVP of the Six Invitational. Players like Doom had more highlight moments than pretty much anybody else. But if you're looking just outside the top 10, 11th best player by EPS at the Six Invitational was actually the Chinese superstar himself of Reaps from WEIBO Gaming. You look a little bit further down, top 20 is Hovenhurst from Indonesia. He's a player that often kind of doesn't get enough credit because he is just as deadly as Turdster or Reaps, arguably maybe a little bit more consistent than a player like Turdster. And I don't know, I've got to say, like, best players in APAC, all 5 of these players from WEIBO Gaming are in that conversation. Even if you look at someone like Speakeasy, for an example, he, back in the day, was the up-and-coming young fragger, right, on the Aerowolf days. He went to the only ever event, from an international perspective, that we've had in APAC at the Tokoname Pro League Finals in 2019, and he was the MVP of the match where his team upset the team from EU, the best team out of Europe, which was Giants, that roster that ended up kind of morphing into that road team. And he was the MVP of that. Now he's kind of the dad figure on the team. He's the in-game leader. He's matured so much. And we need leadership in a team full of hotheads like Turdster and Reeves. That's exactly what Speakeasy brings to the table.
And he has that I'm just happy to be here mentality. I remember we had a very long day in Australia, you know, playing the final. What was it? It was the qualifier for international play, but it was like they were only qualified. So they're playing these really long, late matches. And you asked, who's excited to play? And he goes, me, I'm excited. And it was like 1 a.m. Everybody's super knackered, super tired, exhausted. And he was just honestly happy to be there. Always a big smile on his face. And in the server, it feels like whenever the front line is failing, you know, they lose their gunfights or things that go in the wrong direction, Speakeasy is always there in the late stage of a round, playing a support-oriented operator, whether it's the Clash or the Smoke or even something else, and able to clutch it up. He had so many big moments in the entirety of 2025, both domestically and internationally, and his level has only gone up, I feel like, in the last 2 years.
Yeah, Speakeasy really is the happiest man alive. I remember, not in that moment where you're talking about in Melbourne, but in Sydney a few months later at the regional finals. Obviously, WEIBO, they were the champions. And afterwards, the morning after the event, when everyone's kind of waiting for their flights home, I was hanging out with Speakeasy a little bit while he was just killing time before his flight, and we were at the venue where we could play on the PCs, and we just jammed some rank together. And he doesn't care if he's playing some, you know, crappy OS 2-stack ranked with some washed up caster. He is still like laughing, giving it his all. He's like, guys, why don't we just go for like a Ying Rush here? Why don't we just, I'm gonna play the Blitz. He just does not care. He'll play any time, any day. He'll play any role. He doesn't care if he's playing just to scrim or to win. He doesn't care if he's playing to just have some fun and be a little bit silly. He just has such a good attitude, and it's fantastic to see for WEIBO Gaming. It looks like we're just about ready to get in. Looks like we're going to Nighthaven Labs. First up, I love a bit of Nighthaven Labs.
I'm down for it. Also, I mean, a bit of a chaotic map, but a bit of a fast-paced aggression. I feel like WEIBO, if they want to make a statement, they can go into this map to say, you know what, let's run the Blitz, let's run the Ying, the Lion, and end this one very quickly. Because they got those 2 different ways of playing the game. They got, let's get it over with, and let's play proper Siege. And I want to see which version they're going to opt for here in the first couple of rounds. It will be WEIBO Gaming on the attack and Fury on defense.
Yeah, this is so exciting to get a chance to see how WEIBO attack on a map like Nighthaven Labs, which is very much attackable if you're a good top-level team. They're going to get rid of the Electro Bros.
Oh, yeah.
So Hard Breach is going to be much more capable. And for Fury, in their debut with their new roster, let's see how they can handle some of these WEIBO attacks.
Well, Kaid Bandit, Electro Bros are gone, and usually when you ban the Electro Bros, you know, you can kind of free up your operator lineup. Don't gotta worry about the Calacy, the Thatcher, the Maverick, etc. That'll help out a little bit. Fury, of course, target banning the Monty. Monty sucks to deal with. Again, we speak of Speakeasy and how efficient he is in those kinds of operators. And then, of course, the Grim for Execute. This does leave open things like Turdster playing the Deimos, going down below and creating chaos. It also open up things like the Blitz, Lion, Ying that we spoke of earlier as well. Or something that Turdster started playing more and more of at the end of 2025, the Glass. one of those pocket pick operators that gets brought out every now and again for Tursta whenever he's bored of the game. He's like, you know what? It's a glass round, guys. Give it to me. Play some smokes and just pop
5
off.
seconds remaining.
I see a bit of aggression here from Fury. I want them to try and disrupt the pushes from WEIBO. Want to know what WEIBO are cooking up? Is it just going to be starting by opening up a lot of the walls and playing slow? Are they going to kind of fish a little bit, or are they going to go hard and fast with a very specific plan in mind? Looks like Speakeasy's just making his way in very quickly.
Yep.
He's very vulnerable. Nope, he's just baiting. Reaps finds a kill 29 seconds into the rounds. Who's that swing? Just an aggressive one inside of Electrical. That's the smoke going down from Roldini.
It's smart, right? Speakeasy goes in really aggressive. Oh, the great switch for Labyrinth there in the 1v1. Haha. It's smart because Speakeasy goes in kind of aggressively, looking just towards the breach and getting out the default cam, and looks like a kind of a bad play on paper. But then we go over and see that Reach is holding the window cross on that connected door. So all of a sudden, that solo play from Speakeasy is actually a team play. It's two people working together. One person covering an angle, one guy getting the entry. They get the free kill, and then unfortunately for WEIBO Gaming, Reeps gets clean fired off the angle shortly after. Here's fire, flash, you can take catwalk off his control, air jump off the rotation, making that retake impossible. And this means WEIBO Gaming, they have 2 of the 3 areas that they want. IT breach to the outside, they have catwalk off his control, and all they need now is that 3rd area of entry. Either gonna be in meeting, what we saw Speakeasy earlier, or going aqua later on. Because what you want to do in Night Haven Labs very often here on top floor is attack it from 3 of those areas.
Got to keep that pressure on, put them up. That's always the challenge on a map like Night Haven. It's why numbers advantages mean so much. I like this. Destroying the barbed wire in Electrical Labyrinth so that he just has a little bit more mobility. Doesn't give a sound cue if he wants to play close on that window. Speakeasy now has an opportunity to drone after taking out that mute jammer. Just need to isolate some of these players. Spots Labyrinth. Where are these other players though? We've got 2 towards blue and in sight, and 1 playing on the pillar itself. But WEIBO don't really have a multi-pronged approach here.
No, they don't. And also, like, missing that verticality, right? There's no block downstairs right now, at least not starting with the gadget. He's in control room currently, so he might start blocking it for now. That or a Deimos would be nice, but here comes to break the keypad, block the floor, flashbang goes in, but here the cross-up from Fury, playing deep in pillar, playing deep in command.
Baiting for kills, but Pio finds the first one. Good trade from Hoven. Pio's in such an instrumental position on the pillar. Hoven wants to try and go below and put some vertical pressure. No, he's actually rotating up to blue, but there's not a lot of time, and he's going to get shot by Pio, who was also dropping down the hatch and coming back to site. It's a very chaotic opening and a great round from Fury.
And they're not overcommitting. It's so often that you get stuck in the bomb side here on Night Haven Labs and you just have nowhere to play. But they actually have really good foresight. Instead of playing kind of close by that breach towards Garage inside a commando where the floor is soft beneath your feet, they're playing deep inside the bomb side on the concrete portion, meaning Bok or Deimos downstairs can't find the angles. And because Capital Fire was spent earlier on the catwalk rafters, they had less utility to deal with those deeper positions. Yeah, they had 1 Capital Fire left and they spent it, but that doesn't cover the entire bomb site. So Fury simply playing the areas that are safe. And then when they need to, that's when they lash out, right? Dropping down the hatches, contesting down below, and whatnot. So it's really smart just not giving WEIBO any really easy openings. And I think this goes back to the very opening kill that they got from Fury. Labyrinth peeking that connector window onto Reaps. Evening back from a 4v5 into a 4v4 is how you can recompose yourself in a round on Night Haven Labs. Because kind of like Chalet, kind of like Oregon back in the day, when you have numbers disadvantage, there are simply too many angles to worry about because they get attacked from 5 different spots. You have 4 weapons. By making it a 4v4, now you can match 4 guns versus 4 guns, and the gaps are much less.
I will admit I'm a little bit surprised that WEIBO was so disjointed in that round. Like you said, they did not have adequate solutions to the problems. That Azami created quite a fortress. Let's hope they're a little bit better down on this basement attack. Now, this basement attack requires so much more map control than that top floor. And there's always a question, right? You go for a hard breach-centric push and look to pressure the bomb site directly, or do you try and take some map control, engage the verticality? Well, Fury, they're really roaming quite heavily. Roldini and Farlord not too far from each other. Dark just around the corner, but a pick on the bombs. Was that a pick on the bomb site? No, it was on top floor, sorry. Wow, very heavy roam. Only Pyro on the bomb site. Does leave WEIBO with a lot of work to do, but with the numbers advantage, it's going to be much easier to do so.
Turst already deep inside of IT before that external wall was opened up. This goes to show you how fast he was inside the building. They caught Labyrinth by surprise. The Deimos here is so hard to deal with, but Rodini, great swing, gets one, holding back onto Farlord. There's Turster once more, just in the building, finding those picks vertically. They're also working the angles. This needs a 4v1 in favor of WEIBO. The last minute going for a flank.
He's been spotted, and Turster's going to prone peek him. Nasty stuff from WEIBO Gaming. A very succinct roam clear. And as soon as the roamers fell, there was nothing left in the round for Fury. Very good reply. Very swift. They're back on their game. Couple of smiles on their dials, and they're back into it.
It's funny because it feels like Fury are the ones trying to dictate the pace, right? First round, they're the ones to re-aggress, then play passive, forcing WEIBO into pushing them. Then round number 2, 5-man roam game. Nobody died by the bomb site. Nobody even saw the bomb site in that round for the majority of it. It was Fury saying, okay, we're going to live or die by this roam. And the second turn that got that opening kill, that's when everyone else actually turned up their roaming aggression. Because you said in the beginning, it's 4 people roaming, 1 guy by the bomb site. When Tursa gets this first kill, they want to send that last body, that last person protecting the site, up a staircase and then play 4 versus 5. They really want to match WEIBO in just gunfighting skill, essentially, and manpower. And sometimes you can win a round because of it, like in the very first one, or you can lose one very quickly in the second. Okay.
It's just a technical timeout.
A little bit of techie.
Yeah. So this is, just to clarify, the players cannot talk to their coach in a technical timeout as opposed to a tactical timeout. Speaking of timeouts, how about that new halftime break timeout? The, what do we call it? Yesterday it had a role swap timeout, I think was the official rulebook name for it.
Yeah, role swap timeout, schedule timeout. It has a couple of different versions based on where you look. So basically when you go from, defense to attack, vice versa, when you play those first 6 rounds, there's a 2-minute break, essentially, where the team can talk to each other, the coaching staff, etc. We don't listen in, unfortunately. Maybe one day in the future, we'll see. But it's pretty cool because often when you prepare for a Pro League match, obviously if you're WEIBO Gaming in this case, you will be talking about maybe your defenses first, and then you'll talk about your attacks, because you want to talk about the more recent thing as the last thing, so it's in the forefront of your brain. So WEIBO Gaming spent a lot of time talking about the attacks, but they also have a defensive side. Now, with the new system, you can talk essentially mostly about just your starting side of attack, and then you get 2 minutes to summarize what you want to do in defense in that scheduled timeout after 6 rounds. So it does give you a different way to prepare for matches, and obviously if you go 5-1 in the half or 3-3 in the half, and as a support staff member, as a coach, you can then alter that 2-minute conversation into what you need it to be. So I think it's super cool.
Yeah, I like it too. I think we need to come up with a better name for it. I've got a proposition. You want to hear it?
Okay. Yeah. Shoot.
How about a halftime vibe check?
Oh, I like the vibe check actually. That's nice. And then if we get a little listening to the the coach camera in the background, we can really see and feel the vibe too. Is it a good vibe? Is it a bad vibe?
Well, it's good vibe to WEIBO after that second round. That attack was so dominant. Fury, though, this time a little bit of a roam game happening as we change up the bomb sites again. We go to command center. But WEIBO actually have a lot of control. This is really aggressive from Reaps. He's deep up into rafters. The IT breach is open, restricting the mobility of Fury.
Big brothers incoming.
Flashbang, the nade indicator is okay. Oh, a second I thought he was gonna die. AP planting actually, by the way. Does Fury know about this? They have no plant denial. Nope. They don't know.
Nobody's home for Fury. WEIBO quick into the site. They find their picks. They find the diffuser, and Roldini does not survive. It's a quick reprisal for WEIBO Gaming after the first round that Fury found. WEIBO dominate for 2 in a row.
Oh, they take the eye to the breach, they jump with Blackbeard in the bomb site window, APL Thermal plants behind him, and the round is completely and utterly over. Only one operator could deny the plant there, that was Smoke, who was in the wrong position, / far away, / just simply not ready because the round is so quick. And that right there is WEIBO exposing a team for having a couple of gaps and not enough plant denial. It's often we see teams in that tertiary or stock bomb site playing a C4 in the basement, a smoke by the bomb site, and of course trying to play a little bit upstairs for a bit longer. Denying the breach, impact tricking, whatever you might do. But that's where the thermite is such a smart choice. I think a lot of teams default into Ace whenever it's open because good gun, fast gadget, low risk. When you pop a wall with thermite, there's no really stopping it when you ban Bandit and the Kaid. Yeah, you could 2-bar freeze it and just stall it for like 30 seconds. But with Ace, you can like impact trick it, then you gotta breach again, then they Asami it, then you gotta breach. Like, thermite is just so much nicer with these kinds of fast takes. And I think WEIBO made a great showing of just how effective that can be. I also thought that grenade was gonna blow up Reaps, but it didn't, thankfully. There's a grenade indicator that was red the entire time in IT, and I was like, where is this nade even coming from? But it was good.
Well, the clash brought this round by Roldini. We saw so much clash yesterday in APAC North, didn't we, Pengu? And so often it was the winning or losing factor in a lot of the rounds.
It was. We saw some of the most amount of clash that I think I've seen over a full play day, except for before she got reworked. Back in EML, everybody seemed to play it. And then Solid Snake. Actually, like half the teams in Japan, most specifically, they were playing a lot of it. You know, Kinotrope, Scars, etc. There were like a lot of rounds in their games that they were playing the new operator.
Yeah, it was a mean machine on Solid Snake yesterday. But today, Oven is a mean machine. He's got 6 kills in the first 3.5 rounds on that buck. Yeah, rightly so as well. Love seeing WEIBO back in form. Fury got a little taste at the start of this game of what it's like to take a fight to the big dogs, but ever since then, they have not really found themselves in the match.
Something was said when Labyrinth went down. Thursday still has a big smile on his face. I think it's Abe or Hoven just losing their mind, laughing on the player cam. Someone cracked a joke, someone said something. Might have been like, what are you doing there, man? Like, what's up with that? And now we're seeing them establishing control. Air jabs downstairs, again taking slowly catwalk rafters, clearing the barbed wire, etc. I'm expecting a different approach here from WEIBO Gaming, and once they see the clash, Reaps will get out of there. You cannot really challenge Roldini into a 1v1. Maybe if you're the Nomad, maybe if you're the Capital, but if you're a Thermite, you can't do much about it. So they're gonna drone elsewhere. And I think the strat right now for WEIBO is figure out where clash is and go somewhere else. And that's a very good strat because it's very solid. You can't quite challenge them.
3v5, and the clash is one of those 3, now one of those 2, and now knocked back by the air jab. Wow, it goes from bad to worse pretty quickly here for Fury. WEIBO now in a 5v1. It's all about hunting Pio, and Ape finishes him off. It's another flawless round, 2 in a row for WEIBO. They've found their footing, and they are striding through this game with ease.
Making a statement right there. Again, solid siege. It's quick in the building, opening pick, and then just stabilize. Fury, I think rightfully so, will call their tactical timeout. And I think this is one of those pretty well-timed ones. They had a good first round with their aggression. They tried then in the second, third, and fourth, but they've been shut down time and time again, playing individually on their own, not supporting with crossfires. And this does feel a little bit like Fury, of course, being a quote-unquote new roster, having some new players, and obviously up against a team in WEIBO who has not made a single roster change for the entirety of the last year. And obviously, as a core, goes back way further than that. It is very much an old guard team up against a new guard team, and it's showing right now in those last 3 rounds.
Last stage in APL, back all the way in stage 2, the old Fury roster actually did manage to beat WEIBO Gaming before then eventually losing to them in the playoffs. But in a best of 1 in the round robin, Fury did get the better of WEIBO. So it was not unheard of back in the day to see that old Fury team competing even with the best in APL. And while WEIBO are fantastic, and no question they are the best team in the entirety of APAC, they do struggle sometimes. Like they do lose games. We've seen them lose to CAG back at PAX. We've seen them lose to Fury and Elevate in the Asia League before. They're not perfect by any stretch. They lost to Enterprise at the Munich Major, of course. So, yeah, it's quite a departure. The Fury that we're seeing today is a very new team, as you said, and not quite yet keeping pace with the results that the old Fury roster managed to achieve against WEIBO.
10 seconds left before insertion.
So what can they change just in a simple 1 minute tactical timeout? In simple terms, I would play closer together. You know, we've seen Labyrinth die solo last round, for example. I feel like everyone in this player has gotten their early death besides Rodini on the Clash. So play closer together. If you're going to be roaming downstairs, have 2 people play together. If you're going to be playing upstairs, establish those crossfires. Because Reeves, even Speakeasy, they've been seeking out those early engagements time and time again. Also with the Bandit Kaid ban, again, these walls are getting popped in the first 20 or 30 seconds, so you feel so vulnerable from the very beginning of the round if you're a player on the Fury side. And to make matters worse, they're playing double SMG11 shotgun, both the mute and the smoke being brought out. Now, they're excellent operators, don't get me wrong, but the SMG11 is not a phenomenal gun against the ACOGs and long-distance gunfights, which WEIBO are trying to force more and more of.
Oh
now
my
they got the Twitch, it makes... You swing, you die. Instantly. Just torn to pieces. And that's catwalk control surrendered once again. And they didn't even need to use camps of fire or the air jabs, meaning that not only do they get the 5 versus 4, but they have every single piece of utility still remaining for the rest of the round.
Yeah. Like you said, the only 2 marginally good guns on the Fury side are the Yazami and Fenrir SMGs. And your Yazami is dead without really having to be cleared by util. It's just a gunfight. And Farlord's yet to find a kill, so I don't have a lot of hope here for Fury. WEIBO are not slowing down. In fact, they're ramping it up. Exothermic charge goes off. The air jabs have locked these players in place. No more air jabs left for Up Air to try and take down that Clash, but that's okay. There's other ways of doing so. They've got some flashbangs. They've got the fire on the cap tower.
So Bog downstairs, watching his own flank as well. They got the Jones on the bomb side, knowing that the shotgun is swinging right around the corner. So Hovin has to get the flanker or Firelord downstairs, or has to try and get that vertical angle on towards the mute, because Labyrinth is being a bit of a menace inside the bomb side.
Oh, finally Labyrinth is taken down though. This took a couple of players being careful on their gunfights, and they find the kill. Roldini comes to life with the SMG on the Clash. That's the first kill in 3 rounds for Fury. They're still fighting from behind, and they are getting cooked, but a good couple of shots. Speakeasy and Turds to both on the floor. Roldini is on a sliver of HP, and Hoven finally takes down Firelord. The gas has come out from Pyo to try and buy some time. With Speakeasy picked up and Turd picked up as well, it becomes a 4v2. Very low HP on a lot of these players.
It's a full reset. Double revive, just kind of reset the round back, 25 seconds. I think Clash Shield has been destroyed, no more Toxic Babes. This is the issue, right? SMG11 on this particular angle. That last fire takes down Roldini, and with that, they also get the round for WEIBO Gaming. This is the problem. When you clear Catwalk without any effort, imagine it didn't have that extra capital fire. Imagine that the Bog downstairs doesn't get free reign of vertical terror for a full 2 minutes. All of a sudden, that round is playable. But you lose main breach, catwalk control so quickly and so effortlessly, the rest of the bomb set has no realistic chance at surviving. So Fury are back to, again, we gotta go for crazy swings, go for crazy kills, otherwise we can't win. And unfortunately, they got a double injure. Had that double injure been a double kill, they might just win the round. But unfortunately, one bullet off, they get the revives, and with that, WEIBO Gaming 4-1 up, looking very dominant. I think Fury, they're trying quite nice here. They're not really too far off, to be honest. But at the end of the day, no one's gonna look back at this a week from now and go, oh yeah, remember when Fury almost beat WEIBO in that round and that round? No, no, no. It's a 4-1.
That's right. And while some of them are somewhat close, I mean, I still think that the round from start to finish was always kind of favoring WEIBO. There was a moment, like you said, where 2 players were down, but I don't think it was much of a moment. And WEIBO was still favored throughout the whole time. Also notice Turdstick keeps going for these prone peaks. Have you seen that? A couple of rounds now, he keeps hitting the deck and then peeking while prone. It's got him 2 kills so far in the 5 rounds.
I like it. I feel like whenever you watch Turdstan, there's always some sort of tech that he's working on. Sometimes there was like the DMR situation where like he's just like jiggling off an angle on a tiny pixel, just prefabbing the DMR and doing damage. Now it's prone peeking. There was the glass era where he played glass like every round for seemingly no reason except that it was fun. He's always working on some sort of tech, I feel like. And just keeping WEIBO gaming less predictable, perhaps, if you will.
That's his role on the team, right? Be that X factor. While Hoven is a little bit more of a blunt force instrument, Reaps as well. Turdstan is encouraged to go and be a little bit cheeky, be a little bit unpredictable, take risks, and, you know, find whatever latest cheesy little way there is to get a kill, if it's peeking prone or whatever. That's all on him. The roam clear's been good, though. The Lion and the Deimos together trying to hunt down these players, or at the very least force Fury back.
Oh, the drone hole. That could be it. Oh, no, not like that, Roldini. The worst way to die in Rainbow Six Siege. That right there, it will be one of them. Through a drone hole, through a yellow ping, just spray it down. And no flame to speak of. It's locked down by Speakeasy. Again, Fury kind of let them in the building very quickly, and WEIBO make good work of it. And they're working all the angles, top floor, first floor, basement, single breach. They're pressuring so many different areas of the map. But it's AP downstairs that has that diffuser case. It looks like they want to do verticality, deny the angles from the defenders, and then try and go for a plant on that single wall.
Oh, here's another big opportunity. Hoven will trade. Dark finally finds his player, but dying for it. It's too expensive, and Speakeasy's watched Labyrinth, who was trying to go for a peek through the E1D, and Turdster's got it on lock with the Deimos pistol and the track. He has a vendetta, and he is not letting it go. WEIBO completely dominate the first half. It's a 5-1, and now they move on to their defense. And we have an opportunity to watch the players during this halftime vibe check.
Look at Speakeasy.
Can we do a little halftime vibe check? Yeah. How are the vibes, Pengu? How are your vibes?
Vibes are feeling pretty good, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like that very first round, I was a bit concerned. WEIBO feeling a little bit like they had to get back into gear, perhaps, you know, after having an off season. But look at the player cams. I've seen the biggest smile across Turster's face every round on the player cam. They're chilling. They're relaxed. We're just missing Gohan, James. Where's Gohan, huh? Is he back in Brazil? Is he playing from home?
I assume he's back in Brazil. I don't know if he works with these guys. I believe they have their, I don't know if it's a team house, if they live there, or if it's just kind of a team office, but their facilities, I believe it's in Bandung, Indonesia, I believe. Not 100% on that.
So,
yeah. But yes, of course, a lot of these players actually live all over the place. We've got two of them from Indonesia, and Hoven and Upe, but Speakeasy's from Singapore, Reaps obviously from China, and Turdster originally from New Zealand, but he lives in Japan these days. So I believe they're all at the moment living in the facilities WEIBO provide to them in Bandung. But this role swap, of course, is just as, if not more important here for Fury. The team trailing 4 rounds behind now, swapping onto the attacking side. Haven't got a single opening pick so far. They've had 2 flawless rounds against them. Actually, I'm looking back, Nick. First round, Fury got 2 kills. Fury got all 5 kills, right? Of the then 5 rounds that WEIBO have won, 2 have been flawless. The other 3, Fury have only got 1 kill.
Yeah.
So the worst result for WEIBO has been only losing a single player.
Yeah. This is why they also called their early tactical timeout from the side of Fury, because they were like, guys, the plan is not planning. We gotta do something else now. Now, it is an attacker favorite map. If you're gonna, you know, get in the copium a little bit here, Fury getting 1 defense is not amazing, but if they get a lot of attacking rounds, maybe they can get, you know, 2-3 rounds on the board and then not lose too hard. Yeah. This was the map pick of WEIBO, yeah? If I to believe the graphic top right. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, that makes sense as
well. Oh, yeah, just see the drone
not even
kill
that. Yeah, we just had to show it off, right? Expose that angle. Oh man, this right here. Labyrinth is kind of walking up the soda stairs, as we call them, or vending stairs. It's kind of dying to a DMR. It feels very much like Fury. I don't know. I feel like their plan A in their head is let's just not give them anything. But then WEIBO just take it and then like, okay guys, we gave them everything. What do we do now? Like it feels a little bit like that where they realize 60 seconds in that the plan is not planning again. And they don't really seem to have like a counter. The counter is let's walk into their guns and hope that we're better. But that doesn't work against WEIBO. That's the one team in this region of Asia that you cannot really do this against. There has to be a bit more strategic fundamentals from the side of Fury. But with this roster being a new team, if you will, it's gonna come with time. And Not Even Labs is just not really a map that has bomb site that gives you a lot of different ways to problem solve these things. So when you lose your power positions of Catwalk, for example, the round just gets infinitely harder. So Fury, the area that they're weak in, gets exploited very successfully by WEIBO, and that's how we find ourselves here in 5-1. Side swap, WEIBO goes defense, and now we gotta watch if Fury can pick apart like WEIBO did. Can they take Catwalk rafters? Can they quickly get in the building? Can they force down the plant?
I feel like Up A here is going to be one of the pivotal operators. Being the Warden, of course, having the Ying on board, having a lot of smokes and flashes for Fury. If Up A's in a good position, he can put a stop to this, be it with a C4, a shotgun in close range here in Electrical with a shield to assist him, or with that SMG-12, should he choose to take a bit longer of a gunfight. Looks like most of the pressure's coming down on... Oh my god, wait. Is this a Boss G on Dokkaebi? That's not something you see every day. Labyrinth, you're no longer playing a 1v1 tournament. This is 5v5.
He is. Hey, it's a 5v5 setting, but every gunfight, if he wants to, can be a 1v1. Just 5 separate times, okay?
Not if you're playing against
all he's got to do is find that one opening. Look at this. There, oh,
nice
C4
one,
from Hoven. Hold up.
Oh, well, he finds one back at least. While he is traded by Labyrinth, it's not the best start for WEIBO. And the Boss G does not prove helpful for Labyrinth at all. Everyone from Fury will go into the meat grinder and fall. It's a very dominant round for WEIBO Gaming. Dark, the last one remaining, standing in con. He's been affected by that Thorn Trap, got the debuff. They know where he is. Nice shot onto Turdster. 1v2 is very winnable with a minute to play.
Now we gotta see that discipline and respect from WEIBO Gaming just locking in this round, right? Establish the crossfire, no one peeking together. They know the breach here to the right is a vault rotation. That makes a huge sound cue. This most likely means that Dark is forcing to go into the electric door, and that's where you gotta focus your attention. Play the guns on this door, play the sound on the rotate. He's got one flashman to work with, gets shot down by Reeves. They just peek off the shield, they peek off the angle, and they lock in that 6th round. 6-1 now. Fury, honestly, decent start. A little C4 goes the wrong way from WEIBO, makes it a 4v5. But Hoven, he's been so sharp. He found almost both kills.
Decent start, bro. WEIBO killed their own teammate. How are you giving Fury credit for that?
That's a decent start for Fury. Hey, if I'm playing ranked and my enemy, they team killed, that's a good start for us. That's a decent start.
All right. You're right. I mean, it was a 4v5.
But they failed to convert.
Sorry, 4v... Yeah, it was a 4v3 for Fury. So they did have the advantage for a brief moment before everybody died.
Yeah.
But now they have 5 match points against them. Yes, it is WEIBO's map pick, but look, with how this has gone, I don't have a lot more hope for Consulate. It's a hard thing going up against the best team in the region, but Fury have a lot of expectation after what that former Fury roster was able to achieve over a long period of time.
I guess Firelord is a James Bond fan.
Bomb located by attackers.
Doesn't work with the Curry KDA system, but
yeah, it doesn't work because we do KDA instead of KAD, where we used to be KAD. But yes, 007.
That's rough.
Wait, I don't know what is the thing. I'm forgetting. I think that was almost.
That's right.
Was it? I was kind of Get Smart-ish. Did you ever watch Get Smart?
I don't know what that is. No.
It was like basically a parody of James Bond. It was fantastic. It was a show in, I believe, the 80s, and then they made a movie of it in like the 2010s with the Anne Hathaway and the guy from The Office, Steve Carell.
The guy from The Office. Damn. Thank God the office is a very big show, because otherwise it sounds like an insult, right? It's the guy from the office, I guess. No.
Yeah, not just a small little thing called the office that I work in.
Yeah, this tiny show, little indie.
I'll tell you what, it's another day in the office for WEIBO. 6-1 up, and Fury are starting to mount up some pressure. They're cooking in the kitchen, or at least they're trying to. But Turdster is ready and waiting. Sees the Blackbeard. Well, that's a good nade, but it's going to be a freebie for Turd.
No.
Pio tossed the nade and then looked away. Didn't expect Turdster to swing him aggressively. And Fury are all out of steam.
This is how you hold it together, right? They got 3 people working the angles. Turdster's back is being watched by a teammate by the Asami. Then they have Smoke or Speakeasy on the staircase. They swing together. Good timings, good communication, coordination. Fury stuck outside the building. Labyrinth, watch this. 2 cameras on fires in pocket. Where was that fire earlier for Turdster's position? It was a grenade tossed up by the Blackbeard. Turdster's forced to swing. He gets the kill. They weren't even watching Turdster swing. So miscommunication from Fury. They're gonna pay the price, and this round it should be completely and utterly over. Will Dini and Labyrinth try and play together, or actually maybe just go your separate ways? You gotta go fishing for kills. It's a slow burn.
A very slow burn. We got a drone at least to work with here for Roldini.
Ooh.
Wants to go fishing, but Turdster's just waiting on the other
It's a
side.
vault breach. Ah!
And Roldini will fall all up to Labyrinth now. It's not a 1v1 tournament anymore, it's a 1v5, and he finds nothing. A third flawless round for WEIBO Gaming. It's as cut and dried as it could possibly be. 7-1 domination for the Kings of APAC.
That tells the whole story. Now it's a best of 3. There are more matches to be played. Hopefully, the future match will go a little bit better. I think Constantine is up next, if I recall correctly. Now, if you go defense or Fury, maybe they can get it done. We'll see. Before we get to Constantine, though, we'll go for a quick break.
They've come out windmilling like an Englishman looking for a scrap. But talking of a scrap, Pino!
If he goes uncontested and the kick goes cold, that'll be devastating. The grenade goes through, that's the swing! Cyber and Bullet are able to get one apiece with the kit so far away, and Canadian down upstairs.
Cyber, wow, that was special.
It's a 1 versus 3 to hold, and they're pushing him from behind. He's found one. He's got to get the vertical as well. They get pulled off Tim. We're down to the last 3 or 4 seconds. Ryder's got another. He's held on. He's going to do it. And PSG take the 2-1 win.
Both players spotted, but the res can be made successfully.
Oh, got another one for Solotov. Information from the bees. He goes in. Shotgun. Sevens! They cement themselves as one of the greatest of all time.
He's starting to get cooked alive, Ollie, but he's using his dim pistols. Look at this from the dock. Surely not. Brilliant! That's play of the year in my book.
Plays the game, hits the old body, doesn't quite catch it. There's the impact.
He gets it!
There's the dash! He doesn't have the confirmation! He's going back, he's not quite sure. He
Eski gotta
has
go.
a few seconds. Stick it, Ness! Stick it!
This is an angle that he might be able to contest. No, unfortunately, he takes just a bit of damage there. A walk, I guess, the second one. Eclipse, though, will get one, turning it into a 2v2. Now they push it on the side. The Bandit will lose out on this. Eclipse, the last alive on the Ella. He spots the head and takes him down. The ace for Waka.
He will down BC. Canadian positioning to pick up, but that's going to result in a double nade from Vertical. That's 4 for him in the round. Necrox, the final defender against Vertical. The ace, absolute domination.
You believe in magic, Michael! Team 1 does as they win the Mexico Major. riding out. Throw my elbows up and my money out. Cause I came to get down, so let's run it up. I'ma keep it going till there ain't nothing left. I'ma keep it going, I'ma keep it going, I'ma keep it going till there ain't nothing left. The best that this region has got to offer.
Pretty cut and dried affair on the first map for WEIBO Gaming. 7-1 and 3 flawless rounds over Fury. It's not the start that this rejuvenated Thai roster was looking for.
It's not, but honestly, when I saw the map of Nighthaven Labs, I was thinking, yeah, 7-1, 7-0, who's to say what it's gonna be, but probably one of those two. And with, scoreline is one thing, but how the individual rounds played out tells the bigger picture. There were 3 rounds where they got, a singular kill from the side of Fury. So the rounds that weren't flawless were damn close to it.
Yeah, well, they got 6 kills in 7 rounds. It tells you plenty about how that went. And while it was a 7-1, it was effectively a 7 in a row after Fury won the first round on their defensive side. But of course, it was WEIBO's map pick. There's now a chance for Fury to come back on Concert. This is a best-of-3 series. But the stakes are pretty high because you lose this and you go down into the lower brackets. There's only 2 lives here in the APL Kickoff. Unlike Europe, North America, and South America, we don't have this group stage into playoffs. We just have the double elim playoffs bracket, and of course, you just need to perform in this bracket. Otherwise, it's all done and dusted for you. Now, Fury, of course, lost the first map in Nighthaven Labs, but they themselves picked Consulate as our second map, which is where we will be heading in just a few moments. But look, it's a big map, right, Pangu, and there's so much to do. Teams have to be really careful not to let time slip away, especially as Fury start on the attack.
That's exactly my worry. If this was, WEIBO picking Consulate, Fury goes in defense, they build, a 4-2 half, they get a bit more comfortable, they can settle into the match. Maybe that's a good shot at it, but they're starting on the attack inside, and WEIBO is going to lock them out like they did on Nighthaven Labs.
Yes, well, it's up to WEIBO now to finish the job that they started on Labs, but for Fury, there's plenty to prove with this brand new roster. Dark and Farlord sticking around from the old Fury, the rest greener than grass. They are coming into APL to make their debut, and they are hungry for a win. But it won't be easy up against the best in not just Asia, but the best in APAC as a whole. WEIBO look to make a statement here as we go into Consulate.
Let's see. What are we banning? We're banning the Monty, by the way. I think we are banning the Monty. Come on. Actually, does Fury's current roster have a Monty player? Dini played the Clash twice, but I don't know if there's a multiplayer here.
Oh, they don't have
I
like
was gonna think, like, if you
very
wanna...
different story. Oh, it's Glasman.
Ooh, okay,
Weird.
okay. WEIBO knows something that we don't. That's for damn sure. That is a target ban and a half.
Wonder if
Then
these
the
teams have
census
scrimmed
go
very
out
much.
immediately. Yeah, I'm curious too, actually. Obviously, the offseason is always a very fun place because if you're an active player, you get to scrim some of the mixed teams that are trialing before they confirm the players, and maybe you've scrimmed the same, organization or team, but they've had many different players in the offseason that they're playing with. That's always a bit of a fun one. You boot up your custom game and you go, what is this random name on like this seemingly no-named account? You look up the tracker and it's like, it's nobody. It's like somebody who borrowed somebody's account to trial in darkness, right? Because Rusty leaks happen otherwise. Like whenever we would scrim and we see a coach playing back in my day, it's like, oh, the coach is playing. We all know that the coach gave somebody their login information to trial because like that's how you gotta do it. Otherwise people start talking.
Yeah, I wonder how many rosters got leaked because of that. I mean, I know from my own experience that if you've got a couple of pros on your friends list, you'll see they're in custom game around 6 out of 10. Like, let's say Brendo and Jigsaw, for example, on Tuhan. It's like, why are those guys in the same round, Or in that case, they just changed their names.
Kind of weird, man.
Before the org announced it, so that was a little bit of a spoiler. When I know in Europe, Alfama was telling me he figured out a lot of the roster changes before they had been announced because of exactly that. But we get to see not just the roster change, but an operator change. A newbie on the block. It's Solid Snake. Brand new operator, and Dark is bringing it to the table to get some information on what's happening up here in admin office.
So the cool thing about Solid Snake is that it works on the floor that you're currently on. So when you're on a window rappel, you can actually see both the floor below you and above you based on where you're elevated exactly on that rappel. So you saw how Dark was starting on the rappel in the bottom. You could then see Visa. He goes up a bit. Now he's seeing admin on his scanner. So you can actually do a lot of work there, vertically speaking, as long as you're rappelling on a window. C4 goes out, finds the spot, respawns back towards the hallway and gets out alive, but very low on health. Still seemingly eager for a bit more of a fight, but he will eventually peel back entirely towards the bomb site. And then look at what we're going to be happening later, right? What we're going to be having. Tashanka, go your fire and smoke toxic babes. There is infinite plant denial, infinite push denial here on the side of WEIBO. So they're not really giving Fury a free way in. It cost them a player. The Blackbeard is gone. And now when they push down those bomb site doors, they will continuously get locked out. So this is going to be a very frustrating round potentially for Fury.
Good nade though from Fury, from Dark specifically. Clears out that Banshee, but yes, the fire will reply here from the Tachenka. And so much burn, so much time delay here for WEIBO. Oof, nice shot there, but Speakeasy gets traded on back. Didn't manage to see where the Tachanka fell, but that's a good play to take down if you're Fury. No more worrying about the fire from the Tachanka, but they do need to make an entry. Dark finds one before he himself is traded back, but Toadster gets aggressive at the long desk, and the player at Spiral is now dead, leaving Labyrinth all alone. Smoke and fire from the Capital to try and utilize, but yeah, you're right. It's going to be another prone peak from Turdster. He will fall, but the gas from Uppe finishes the round off, and WEIBO Gaming find the first round of Consulate.
This is the thing about admin that frustrates me infinitely as a Blackbeard or Shield player myself. Those damn C4s, man. If you rappel in the double window admin and they hear the sound cue, you can get C4'd from copy, coffin, or above the reinforcements in a break room. It feels like it's just gonna be impossible to get inside the damn... Look at this. Bing, boom, dead. And he runs away. It sucks. And it's one of those, well, if you know that this can happen, Fury, you need to, use a few more tools. It could be a flashbang. It could be rappelling in a different window, like on the south-hand side. Because if you do things very simply against very good players, a very good team, they will punish you for those simple ways of playing the game. And again, I feel like that's been the real story here. The way Fury lost Nighthaven Labs was that they would lose important map control in a very simple way. Fury would swing, he would lose the gunfight, or they would, have a single or flashbang thrown in their direction, and they get peeked while they're blinded, and then they die. So Fury, you know, playing very simple, if you will. They're a new roster. They're expected to play a bit simpler. WEIBO Gaming having many more steps and many more layers to both their attacks and their defenses. And it's how they're able to find so many free rounds, essentially, in this matchup.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb.
A free kill here and there can lead to a free round. That's how it happens. WEIBO are a great team when it comes to that. Just having these cheeky little one-offs here. You know, it's a spawn peek here. It's a pre-placed C4 here. Perhaps a well-timed, prepared C4, even if it's not pre-placed, like what we saw last round from Reeves. Little things like that add up very quickly for a good team. We'll see how things change as we go to a different bomb site down into the basement, but there's a roam game active here for WEIBO, and the instrumental portion of it is Hoven upstairs. Oh, wow, he was caught off guard. No, never mind. Turdster was also upstairs. He's found one. Labyrinth with his own boss G up against the Scorpion. Two can play at that game. The proning peeking does not work out for Labyrinth, though, as Turdster finds him. Double early on, and a triple now found with the Scorpion.
God.
He's tearing Fury apart on this top floor, and now Roldini and Dark are the last two remaining. Plenty of roamers for WEIBO, but also a player on site. Speakeasy, the lone player on the objective. As Roldini is just waiting for this flank to come from Yellow. Reap's a little bit wary.
I hate to be that guy, but honestly, if you had DMR on Labyrinth, Dokkaebi, not the Boss G, I think you win that gunfight against Turdster. This round is completely playable. But the Boss G, 2 bullets, shotgun in hand, here he comes. One, doesn't get the second. A good trade by Dark. But again, the round is... hold up. The wall bang in, 200 turret, almost all of a sudden this round is winnable. You have the yellow ping information. No C4 downstairs. If Dark were to play this round perfectly, use those flashbangs, get some self-destruction with those forest drones, there could be a win here.
Oh, but it's a tough call for him. When does he make the move? And with the Flores drones, he doesn't just have to use them to clear util, he can also use them to gain information. It's like having 3 spare drones in the pocket, plus the one that he actually has. He's now revealed his position, though. Okay, that's an electric claw speakeasy. It's not going to do much. But it just lets Dark know that he's very aware of his position. First flashbang goes out. He's trying to bait out a swing. Oh, that bulletproof camera is going to make things very difficult. So will the Banshee. If he had perhaps used some of his Roteros, he could have cleared both of those pieces of util, but doesn't matter how he played that. It was going to be tough, and WEIBO make it look pretty easy.
Again, admin offices, disaster. It's funny because we spoke about how Fury can bait out a swing. Look at this. They rappel in the west window, hold them from the south, and they get the first pick. But then Turdster runs in and gets 3 kills. 2 in admin, this here in the hallway. And that kind of just concludes the round on paper. Yeah, they trade, they get the wall bang, and it did look winnable for a second, but again, when the round gets difficult for WEIBO, that's when they start trying it 100%. The discipline in the 2v1s, having those crossfires with the bulletproof camera, I mean, they make it unlosable because they play it correctly. But in the 5v5, that's a way we're a bit more loose in the zero. We saw Speakeasy and Tishan get dying on the first round, you're swinging it a little bit aggressively. We saw Reeves ego challenging with the DMR a few times. So Fury really are better off punishing WEIBO early, establishing that manpower advantage, and then playing the rest of the round clean. The issue is, more often than not, it's Fury losing that first player, and they can never get that initial advantage, and therefore they cannot build it into a round victory.
5 seconds left.
Now, in the first map, every single round, the opening kill was won by WEIBO Gaming. In the second round, it's been 1-for-1 so far. Second map, I should say. It's been 1-for-1.
Yeah.
There's no question who dominates in the early game. It's WEIBO. Turdster is looking really good as well. That 3K was massive last round. He's back on the Ella. He's back playing the same position in admin office, despite the bomb site being changed. I mean, his roam kind of functions more or less the same way.
Fury's gonna make all the first moves. Get in the building, clear admin offices, and when you recognize as a pattern that your opponent is struggling with this particular area of the map, you can just keep exploiting that. Now they're a bit slower because they're playing safer, which is good. They're double droning, they're checking things, etc. And they're actually breaching the meeting wall this time around, which applies more pressure towards the bomb side, forcing WEIBO further back. This is great. Fury can now probably get inside admin offices with 5 players alive. That's the first time they've accomplished this feat in the first 3 rounds. However, it does mean there's going to be a little bit less time to work with later on because they're a little bit slower in the beginning of it. So we gotta see kind of what the initial push is going to become. They gotta work both the top floor and the first primary floor beneath them, so they got a lot of work to cover. Fire Lord ratting downstairs in Visa hallway, looking to cut off some rotations perhaps. There's nobody here from WEIBO.
Because WEIBO have just given it up. Turdster fell off as soon as he'd been droned the first time. WEIBO have a lot of util though. Dread mines, Gridgemont mines, a lot of them pre-placed to prevent the push out from admin. Even a bulletproof camera there is going to have to be cleared by Fury. The Goyo fires can be detonated at any point. It's just about peeling back the layers for WEIBO. They need to overcomplicate things.
And you see, like, bomb sites downstairs, and we've only now just entered break room holding these passive angles, expecting a swing. Firelord downstairs did get that cut off. Takes down Ape. But the bomb site is being watched vertically by WEIBO Gaming, so attacking downstairs is not going to get you that right result unless the sense walls can actually just shroud you on the bomb side.
Speakeasy's in such a pivotal position because he's got the vert, and yes, the smoke is down, which puts more pressure on the Tachanka for the area denial. It's very much going to be a late round plant, 20 seconds to go, but the plant denial may be able to come through. The fire needs to deny it, but Labyrinth is seemingly safe. He's found a good plant spot, and WEIBO cannot get into position to deny it, so it'll need to be a retake. 3v3 as Fury can retreat, give up the bomb site, and look for post-plant positions. Calling upon Turdster to go big like he did last round, and he'll find the first one with the Scorpion. No. This is not a good look now for Fury. Roldini's the last one remaining. He's found the first of 3 kills required. Speakeasy low. WEIBO know where that diffuser is. It's up to Turd to cover, while Speakeasy looks to try and get it, and Turdster is once again on the floor. He finds yet another prone kill and enables the disable of the diffuser. Fury got so close, but they just missed their opportunity.
And again, the sense was good. It kind of just like shrouded them on the bomb side. They could plant in an unknown location. They were juking the fire from Tachanka. Maybe they could have done, gone up vertically and played the post plant from above. That is technically a possibility. Rodini was below that visa staircase, but either way, he takes the 1v1 by the bomb side. Turdster wins out the gunfight. They get the round from WEIBO Gaming 3-0. The best round so far from Fury, definitely. But also, what happened? Like 5 attackers, they stayed alive, and they got the opening pick, and then they got a second one to smoke by the bomb side. That is really good stuff. If Fury can now figure out, guys, staying alive, play it slow, and try and get that opening kill, that's going to net us a better result than going fast in the building, dying to a C4, or dying to a mid-drone, and then we can't really get back into the round. They've banned out the Tachanka because they recognize we're going to get stalled out. We're going to get plant denied, and it sucks to deal with. It does still leave open the Goyo, but at least those are pre-placed. The Twitch counters it, the grenades, etc. The Tachanka can kind of rotate around the entire building and fire where they want. So I actually quite like this Tachanka ban. It also does open up the possibility of a CEO attack with like an armor or a window wrap one in theory, as Tachanka is the #1 counter for that. Smoke only having 3 toxic babes, C4s being, a single piece of util, and the Goyo being pre-placed. So it could be a pocket shot here, we'll see.
Util that can't be countered by a Thatcher as well. Both the smoke and the C4s can be countered by Thatcher.
True, yeah.
But, the Goyo can't be, but obviously there's a lot of ways you can clear the Goyos. But yes, I would like to see a CEO plan here. I feel like not many teams in APAC do them. Haven't seen many for a while. They really came into popularity. I don't know when it was. Was it last year? Maybe about a year ago? I feel like we just saw so many executes onto CEO with the Amaru going for bait plants again and again. And look, technically Amaru's had a buff. She can use one more Garrow Hook.
Yeah, not sure that's going to be the difference maker for that one, but maybe, just maybe. They do have the Thatcher, which almost tells me that they were going to go for a CEO plant there outside the window as well, because like you pick the Thatcher up here, not to be the one to plant, but to be on the window rappel or down the ground, looking for a C4, and then EMPing it mid-air. But without the Amaru, you're a bit slower. Without the Lion, you can't stop them from moving. So there are a couple of things I'm not sure they're missing, but there are some things that are not present that will make this a bit more difficult and a bit more predictable, giving WEIBO more time to react.
And no Capitao as well, which would have been nice to try and prevent any wide swings. I will say the Thatcher is so multi-layered because not only does it counter C4s and potential smokes, also counters both the Pulse and the Warden, which are two of the great operators for preventing an execute like this. But for now, it's a bit of a roam clear. There's a Pulse on the stairs.
Oh, they joined him.
He's been spotted. It's clever, though, from Speakeasy. He did not get baited. Deliberately, Fury went for a red ping in the hopes that Speakeasy would move out of the spiral stairs to run away from the drone, but he ran the other direction.
This is cheeky. He pre-places C4 above the doorway, and you can use a Deimos tracker against him to know kind of when to pop it. And also just means that Deimos is going to be a lot more hesitant to go for that play in the 1v1. Tursta instead though finds a kill verdict onto Roldini. That's a block remove from action. And this seemingly CEO rush has been halted. They have piano control, covering the C4 below. Maybe this could still happen. They're rappelling on in.
Could be info. The Plantanal needs to come through. Dark from down below is covering the verticality. But the plant has not happened as of yet. Pio taken down. And now WEIBO just have to bide their time. Another player now repels inside. Firelord could go for a plant, but he wants to get a little bit more than that first. He finds the kill onto the Warden. That's a huge one. And Dark from down below is preventing the vertical denial, but Speakeasy somehow managed to get the angle and take down Firelord. Now Labyrinth forced to repel inside. He's low HP, and Speakeasy from all the way down below will take him out. It's Dark now in a 1v3 as he desperately goes up to the top floor. Speakeasy is so far away and can always continue denying the plan vertically. Turnster's on the floor again! Somebody tell this man to get off the ground! WEIBO, another round on the board. They are untouchable. It's 11 in a row across the series.
Such a smart round as well, right? They're playing all three floors. The round started with Speakeasy being Deimos tracked and droned in the basement, and the round basically ended with Speakeasy getting 2 kills, plant denying twice, also from that exact same spot downstairs in car garage. And it's just, again, WEIBO understanding win conditions. Okay, we have 3 C4s, we have smoke grenades. If they go for a plant, we got denial. Okay, if they go for a plant, we'll play top floor, first floor, basement. They can't be everywhere all at once. One guy is planting, plus WEIBO got the opening kill earlier, with Tursa taking down Roldini in the buck. So the second WEIBO get that opening pick, they know off the rip that they got a significant strategical advantage, and there's no reason to panic. And they do it so well. I didn't see exactly what happened with the Thatcher EMP, but they rabbled in the window. I heard an EMP go off, and then they died to a C4. So maybe it was a toxic bait that they EMP'd midair, then a C4 came instead while Thatcher was reloading, and then they just lost the first planter. But that's the issue with these like CEO window repel rushes. If one thing goes wrong, if that one C4 hits its mark and takes down the planter, it's only going to get harder and harder and harder because you're just losing bodies and gaining nothing.
Two last chances now to find an attack round on Consulate. Remember, the only round Fury has won in the series was the very first defense on Nighthaven Labs. Every chance you get here to play against WEIBO is not only good for this game, but I think it's important to just talk about how this is even better than a scrim. This is a real chance, a real live environment to play the best team in APAC and improve. And especially new teams, attack requires so much more than defense. So Speakeasy is going to quickly take down Firelord. Great work with the pulse scanner and the C4, teaming up with Hoven as well to make sure Speakeasy isn't going to get flanked. Such a solid extension here from WEIBO. Fury already on the back foot.
It's just WEIBO, they're never doing things like half-hearted, you know? Okay, Speakeasy wants to C4 downstairs, let's get a Solus below. Check for the drones, cover his flank, etc. and play together. Make sure that he has the tools needed, the support needed to get that win. Get that kill. The funny thing is, there was an IQ being brought by Dark the entire time. The C4 was pre-placed. They should have arguably known, checked, seen, considered that, hey, they're playing Pulse, guys. They might. Oh my god. Listen, Speakeasy, great guy, right? All around phenomenal lad, pretty smart of the game, but also he hits those shots. He's so goddamn consistent as well. He's a rock for this team of WEIBO.
Okay. Yeah, he really is, but Reaps has gone down, so one step closer to Fury bringing this round back. Roldini low HP as a result of that gunfight. There's also a lot of late round plant denial and information gathering between the Solus and the Echo and the Pulse. The C4 and the Mirror as well. So come this eventual execute, it's not going to be easy for Fury. Well, they need it now more than ever. Otherwise, it's going to be another 5-1 split for WEIBO, just like it was on the first map, or even worse, a 6-0 for the defense. Comes out of dark. If he can win this gunfight, there might be a chance. Baits out the shots, baits out the swing, and Speakeasy goes down. Now we're on 3v3. As Dark makes his way forward, but down on the floor, it's Ape. Everybody from WEIBO is proning and finding kills. It's 5 rounds straight on Consulate. Ape claiming 2 of the final kills, and Fury again banging their heads against the wall.
I feel like half the kills that we've witnessed on this map has been just prone angles. Now Ape's joining it. Hurst has been doing it all day. It's working very, very effectively. Fury players, you know, they're playing. Let's aim head level. Let's walk down those hallways, take those slides. Well, if you're aiming prone, you don't see them. The casing of the scope essentially blocks your field of view. You see right here, he doesn't see the guy. Like, you see the tip of his hat at the very end, that's it. So it's such a strong thing to do if you don't hear them actually go into that prone animation. And again, WEIBO, they're playing just 5D chess, right? They're playing the vertical game really well while also contesting horizontally. They're doubling down on utility, playing the Pulse and the Solus. And every round, it's something different, but a little bit similar. Like, they got the Pulse 2 different rounds. One, he was solo roaming basement. Then he was just fishing for a C4 on the first floor. One round, he was solo. One round, he was supported. So it's like, okay, WEIBO go, okay, guys, I'm going to play the Pulse again, but they hunted me the first time around. Can I get, like, a teammate near me? Again, the foresight and the communication to figure out, like, okay, this is what Fury might be doing to clear me. And now we're seeing back-to-back IQ rounds from Fury, because they have to respect the Valkyrie, the Pulse, the C4, the Echo. But we didn't really see IQ get any value in that previous round, because the rest of Fury are too quick in the building. Again, when you go too early on step number 1, you get spawn peek, you die, you get run out on. A good trade though from Roldini. But you're once again 4v4, still stuck outside these windows, still stuck outside of those repels.
Oh, my guy Toast has a license to swing anybody he wants. 11-3. Going 1-for-1 is a fine outcome.
Oh, they misdroned him.
Don't tell me. Don't. Oh my god, this is
Do they have
gonna
no
be
idea?
devastating. The question isn't is Reaps gonna get a free kill? It's how many can he get?
No.
Because he's just been patient for the first one. Finally takes him down. The E1D goes off. He might not be able to find the second kill though. He's dueling him. He finds Pio as well. Flashbang comes out. Labyrinth bringing in the nade to the equation, and Roldini will finally take him down, but damage has been done.
So smart, man. The trigger discipline when the guy rappels in the window. He was flicking back and forth between both angles, so I was thinking they're gonna hear him. They're gonna hear you, like, be careful, but no. They had no idea. Again, skipping steps. Getting a bit lazy on those corners. Now WEIBO can sit back. Speakeasy got Toxic Babes. They got info on the Valkyrie cameras. IQ is already dead. They can't find them. They are very much just chilling by the bomb site and waiting for Fury to make the first move. And then you got Hoven roaming.
Yeah. He's always looking for a flank opportunity. He's teaming up with Speakeasy.
He's getting flanked though.
Got some info actually. They can see Labyrinth in the hallway now. That gives the call. Speakeasy can take him out even before Hoven has a chance to join in. Roldini now 1v3 to try and prevent a clean sweep on the defensive side for WEIBO.
Yeah. Clean sweep is looking very likely. I mean, you can try and go for a plant here, and it might even go down, but in the retake, they're just gonna 3v1 you.
They are indeed. It won't even need to be a retake because Hoven has info on the plant. Thanks to the Solus, it's a perfect half. 6-0 for WEIBO Gaming. Time to move on to the defense for Fury and hopefully have something to talk about in this halftime vibe check. Hopefully the vibes are high, because certainly don't think they would be.
Yeah. Feeling pretty high.
Vibes are high for Speakeasy. Look at that.
I mean, there's no better day in the office as a pro player than you go in, a little 7-1, maybe a little 7-0. You know, you go in, you get your upper bracket victory, minimal effort, you don't show many strats, you only play 2 out of 3 maps. It is best case scenario, but if thanks to your own great efforts, the practice, repetitions, preparation, that's how you get there. Now, if you're Fury, James,
chill. Yeah.
Are you're
not going to be chill?
Disappointed? Are you neutral? Like, I'm curious what Fury's expectations were going into this game. Like, do you think you can take a map off WEIBO? Do you think you can take some rounds off him? Do you think you're gonna get destroyed? Because again, unless they scrim each other, I think it's hard to set expectations.
Yeah, very true. I wonder how Fury's scrims in general have been going. Hopefully they've been scrimming more than just, 1 or 2 teams. Hopefully they've been scrimming not just Thai teams, for example. Hopefully maybe some teams from Japan and Korea as well. But, Asia, they play quite differently to Japan and Korea. Japan tends to be very aggressive, very execute heavy. Hopefully Fury have had a wide, diverse range of scrims. Now, something I'm noticing out of the WEIBO cams, just to change things for a moment, have you noticed every single one of these players is wearing over-ear headphones and in-ear headphones underneath them? This is the LAN setup for WEIBO Gaming. And I guess just to explain maybe to people that haven't really played a lot of esports at the top level, why is it that we have 2 sets of headphones for esports teams?
So the headset at a LAN event that goes like the regular headset, so to speak, it actually doesn't have any game sound or any real audio. It has what we call white noise. Kind of sounds like the ocean, like a kind of crashing sound in your ear. Basically, that's there to block out the exterior noise, hearing the crowd, hearing the casters, etc. And then it has a microphone attached to it, so you can speak to your teammates. That's great. But Pinku, how do you get in-game sound then? Well, that's where in-ears come in, because they're very small and the cables are very thin. They go underneath that headset like you see on Speakeasy's head right here, and they can actually go inside your ear. That's going to give you sound of your teammates and the video game itself. This means you can play in a much louder environment while still having the ability to hear the in-game. Also, when you're playing in a gamer house, like or office or whatever, like WEIBO Gaming they are, you can hear your teammates talking both in the microphone next to you, but also in real life. By playing with the in-ear headset combination next to your teammates, you get that LAN environment where you block the exterior noise and you don't hear people echoing twice, which is super convenient to hear the game.
Yeah, and I also just think it's so important if you want to be professional, if you want to strive for high performance, to practice what you preach, right? To make sure that you're practicing on your scrims, what you're going to be like on your game day. If it's the regular season, you're playing from home or from your team house, play it with the same type of setup that you're going to be playing at a LAN event. Like LAN events are very different to just in terms of the environment that you're playing in. You're obviously next to your teammates. You're playing with a single monitor. You don't have a second monitor. You're not playing, your music tracks, your Spotify vibes, whatever it is. You don't not with the exact desk setup that you're used to. So I think it's so important to practice for that pro environment that you're going to be playing in Atlanta, especially for WEIBO, because their goal isn't to, win APL Asia. Their goal is to win a major or a Six Invitational. And in order to do that, you've got to practice like you're playing a Six Invitational or a major.
Dude, Turnstile's losing it in the player guy. He's losing it right now. I'm not sure what that was. Well, no, you're completely right. The same reason why pro players don't play, 27-inch 1440p OLED monitors, because on LAN you can play 24 inches IPS panels. So you want to play the environment at which you play at the highest level. If you're a team that's expected to go there, of course. So you're right on the money with that. We're seeing the Turnstile Glass pocket pick that we spoke of last map on Night Haven. It's made an appearance. They got Glass, Sense, and Thatcher. This could be sensing off, running deep, EMPing the plant denial. There's a way where this actually might just work because it's different, but similar.
Oh, there you go. One C4 spotted and taken out. However, Labyrinth C4 does manage to find Uppe. 3v4 now. The WEIBO, it's not perfect, and a spray through the smoke with the Warden's glasses is exactly what Dark needs to take down the glass. Labyrinth has also found one. It's going to be a first round on the board here for Fury. Unless Hoven pulls off the impossible, he's got 4 defines. Does manage to take the head off of Firelord, get his first one. He's being spotted from below, and he finds a second. This would be monumental. Dark still has an Nitro cell. Out goes the ROU from the Sens. And a second as well. He's got no more util to speak of. He's been spotted on the camera, but he's got more mobility now. Labyrinth and Dark have to play together. Is Hoven going to be aware of these positions? Labyrinth falls back. Hoven doesn't have the diffuser, so he has to go for kills. He's got Dark on a longer angle. Now knows his position. Takes up the default cam. Labyrinth and Hoven can swing together, but Dark goes for it and finds the first round for Fury.
I mean, the fact that it gets that close in a 1v4, stuck inside a meeting box, small concern. But also, I mean, that was WEIBO going for a one-off, funny pocket strat, etc. Trying to just get it done easily without showing too much. Tursta here didn't stand still for long enough for the energy bar, if you will, to like recharge on the glass, because Warden and glass work very similar, where when you're standing still you get the ability to see through a smoke grenade. When you stop moving, and if you're continuously moving, you don't actually get much vision at all. So Thursday couldn't see the Warden because of that. So he got shut down by Dark. A bit of counterplay there, playing the glass into the, or the Warden, sorry, into the glass. Of course, that's kind of why you play the Warden, because you're expecting a smoke grenade. Whereas the attackers have a repick where they can just freely choose whatever they want if they figure out what defenders are being brought to the table.
I think we'll see a lot of Warden because of the Smoke to Chanka ban, right? Like, as soon as you see the attacking team has banned Smoke to Chanka together, you kind of know what they're going to be going for, right? It's exactly CEO takes like WEIBO just did. I think they could make it work in a future round, perhaps.
They don't get stopped by anything except for like pre-played Goyo canisters, right? Like nothing's gonna stop you from pushing, from rushing, even if you're not planting, just like going in through the bomb site, going in through an area. Because if you look back at how WEIBO were defending, they're using Chunk of Fire and even Toxic Babes pretty sparingly early in the round, just be annoying to do a little bit of damage, to stall them from pushing, etc. This is WEIBO saying, we want free control of going wherever we want, whatever we want to. And first round, that's a Sense Glass kind of rush. This round, it's Speakeasy and Monty. What is realistically going to kill Speakeasy this round? Well, maybe one of the 3 C4s in the pocket of Fury, but if you're a really good multiplayer, which Speakeasy is, you can actually escape and survive most of those with ease.
Oh, this is good. 2 electric claws going down on the wall. And I believe only one was droned. To Speakeasy doesn't know that there's backup electrification. He's going to pick it up. Maybe look to go elsewhere. Okay. Dokkaebi call rings out. Is there a map control being taken here? Reaps is in the building, top floor spiral stairs, while the rest of the team for WEIBO, all 4 of them, are still outside, looking to focus up on hard breach. Uppe's taking a hell of a lot of damage. That was the first Nitro cell. In this case from Labyrinth. Did the wall get breached? I think it did.
I didn't hear the boom, but again, we're kind of far away.
Was that denial? I'm not sure.
Surely it did. I mean, Speakeasy's outside, so it must be open. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Now, you can find these players. Can you kill them? Well, Hoban says, yes, I'll take care of one. That's Kite, removed from action. Speakeasy can say, guys, there's a guy playing here in Yellow Pillow, one guy playing by the roadside. I can walk in, try and bait a plant. The only C4 is now on top floor. So Speakeasy, again, should have so much control and freedom to look for this kind of push. But first, looking for the flank backstep as well, but that secret wall, as some people call it. We can push forward.
Just realized Turns is 12-4. Guy has been popping off. It is match point for WEIBO now. Fury need to win 5 in a row on their defense. They're fighting from behind, 4v5. In goes the Montaigne. Uppe finds the first kill of the execute. Turt's right behind this Montaigne. They're waiting for an opportunity to look for a plant. There's a player at yellow stairs and somebody above as well, so plant might not be possible. Speakeasy looks for a chance, and Labyrinth does find one, taken very low, but Reaps will finally trade him on. Back the plant to be confirmed by Speakeasy, and Reaps has the retake on lock. Uppe with the early GG call. Roldini has fortified, and they know where he is because he's just taken out that drone. Hoven with the long angle with the DMR, and it's all said and done for WEIBO Gaming. Fury do not flourish in their debut. It's a devastating start. 7-1 and 7-1 for the Kings of APAC.
It's so fitting, right? Off-season, question marks, how good are they gonna be? Are they ready? Are they prepared? Can they take this match serious? Yeah, they can. They can. Absolutely. This is gonna be about the discipline. I think, again, having Gohan as your coach behind these very exceptional individual players furthers that kind of level of game. Guys, I know we're playing back in APL. I know this is gonna be easy for us, but we have to respect our opponent and play it 100% and show how good we are.
They really did. So many highlight moments here for WEIBO. From the get-go, players like Kurtz were popping off. Reaps was feeling good about it. Hobbin had a much louder Nighthaven Labs than he did here on Consulate, but for Turdstyle, I mean, he finished 12-4, I believe, at the end of the game, maybe even better. Fury did not have a lot of great moments. Not a lot of these rounds, I hate to say it, a lot of them looked close, and a lot of them were... There were points... Yeah, there were not many points where I was like, yeah, Fury is going to take this round, you know? Sadly, I hate to say it, but WEIBO were very much in control.
It's a case of WEIBO obviously being a phenomenal team, like we keep saying, and then Fury maybe being a little bit behind the curve, you know, again, having new players, having to restructure, having to figure things out. There is going to be a couple of weeks or maybe even months sometimes before a team gets back up to speed. And I feel like this kind of showed that they had a lot of gaps in their gameplay. And I feel like even if Fury played a slightly weaker opponent than WEIBO, I still think they would struggle a bit. So they got to look at the long-term future and how they can improve rather than how good we are right now.
It's true, but of course on the flip side of that, we've got to talk to the team that just went 7-1, 7-1, and Speakeasy is on the line. Really tough game for you guys. I'm sure that you're really, you know, sweating. You're probably feeling like, oh, that was a long series. How on earth are you going to recover from that?
I mean, we just play our game, and yeah, that's it. You know, we have a plan beforehand, and we just execute it in the game. That's all.
Okay, something that obviously you guys are phenomenal. You guys are, you know, domestic. You're the kings, right? You're always winning, getting first place, etc. Is there any fear of complacency of you guys thinking that, oh, it's too easy, we're gonna have to, you know, we get bored, etc.? Or is that something that you guys talk about a lot, that we gotta play serious and try 100%?
That topic too comes up, but we always sort of reinforce our mindset with that. You know, we have to go through each game round by round. And also that we can never underestimate any opponents, you know, because like we've seen stories where the two teams were qualifies for like SI and like even beats like the T1 team. So yeah, we try to not have this mindset.
Speakeasy.
How nice is it playing best of threes, by the way? Wait, hold up. Sorry.
No. One at a time.
You know, you play like 20. You're so famous, we just want to ask you questions, right? Like paparazzi. Like, you play 20 best of ones normally, you know, every week, all the time. How is it playing BO3s off the rip and not starting with best of ones? Does that make a difference to you?
I think it does, because the way we handle like stage 1 and stage 2 in 2025 is like sort of a practice where we can just try stuff, because it's end of the day it's the playoff that matters. And I think right now going straight into the playoff, like we can show everything that we crack, you know, everything that we learn, everything that we try to do something new, all goes into here. So I think, for my personal opinion, I think this is like a better way to just get into like the really competitive match.
Can I talk now, Daddy Pengu? Can I talk to my friend? Is that okay?
You may speak,
just
my son.
APAC to APAC. Thank you. Speakeasy, look, big story for all of the world in Rainbow Six at the moment is how pretty much every team is making big roster changes. If they're not making changes to their roster, like CAG, for example, they're bringing on new support staff. Now, you guys are one of the only teams in the world in Tier 1 that hasn't changed any players, hasn't changed your organization, and you haven't changed your support staff. You're still working with Gohan. I believe he's in Brazil right now. We haven't seen him on the cameras. Maybe you can just speak a little bit to what it's like working together as a unit and why you chose not to make any changes.
Okay, first of all, I think the team right now we have is that we have to be realistic as well, and also be like, if we were to replace anyone, he has to be someone better in that role, you know. But we don't see it as a need or a fit, and I think everyone else, in terms of like friendship wise and what we bring to the team is like the best as it can be right now. So we don't really feel a need to change, and of course that helps with being how do you say, like we are motivating each other and also like rallying each other, you know, like we are not I guess you can say that we're not putting off our foot on the brakes or whatever, like we're just yeah.
Yeah. Very fair, very fair. Now, obviously, APL is one thing, but international events is really where you guys are looking to lock in and raise some trophies, hopefully, eventually.
Yeah.
Looking back at your previous results, obviously, SI was very challenging. You topped your group, lost to Furia and Secret. Looking a bit further back, you lost to Secret as well in Munich. You also lost to Secret at EWC. Obviously, they were eventual champions there. It's been really rough for you guys. You've had some tough draws. You play so well, and then you end up playing like one of the tournament favorites and going down. How do you think that's going to change moving forward? Salt Lake City is coming up, because I think at this point, you know, you're going to be playing the best teams in the world. You're going to be playing your Team Liquid Alienwares, your FaZe Clans, your Team Secrets, your Falcons, and you need to start beating them. So what do you think is going to change for you guys to actually unlock and take that next step on the international stage?
I think what we can improve, or what lessons we took from all the previous international, was our mindset and how we deal with the pressure. And of course, like, you know, if you wanna win, if you wanna be the best, you got to beat the best, you know. So we expect the same challenges against like Team Secret with the new roster change or anyone else that we come across. But it's just about how we deal with the pressure and fix our just micro strategies when we face like different kind of opponents.
Well, congrats again on such a dominant win today, Speakeasy, and we'll see you after your next game should you win it.
Thank you. See you guys.
Bye.
And that's all for our
Come on,
first... Well, you know, I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. Didn't you ask a question about complacency? Come on, you got to give some credit where credit is due to the rest of the teams
You're getting a
in the
little bit
league.
of the vibe check, right? I'm just asking because, you know, I like Speakeasy. I want to see him succeed. I want to make sure that they're not getting complacent too early. That's it.
Yeah. Well, it's time for a vibe check on Soulsheart and Daystar. They're playing up next, so stick around. We've got more Asia League coming right up.